Hello, everyone. Welcome to Story Path English. My name is Ethan, and today I'm going to share something deeply personal with you. This is not just a story about learning English. This is a story about survival, transformation, and building a life I once thought was impossible. If you've ever felt stuck, invisible, or held back because your English isn't perfect, this video is for you. I'm talking directly to you, the person who feels like their dreams are out of reach because of a language barrier. I didn't grow up in a wealthy family. I didn't come from a big city with opportunities. And at 18, I could barely say hello in English without panicking. People laughed at my accent. I failed job interviews because I couldn't express myself. I felt trapped, like the world was moving forward without me. But something inside me, a quiet spark, kept whispering, "You're meant for more." This is the story of how I, Ethan, an ordinary kid from a small town with no confidence and no English, turned my life around by mastering one skill: speaking English with power. This isn't a fairy tale. There was no overnight success, no lucky break, no rich mentor. Just me, a secondhand notebook, and a dream bigger than my fears. If you stay with me until the end of this video, I promise you'll not only hear my story, but also learn step by step how I learned English from scratch, how I used it to build a career, and how you can do it too. You'll walk away with hope, practical tools, and a fire to start your own journey. So, let's dive in, because where I started, most people would have given up. I grew up in a small, dusty town in northern India. Our house was one room with a tin roof that leaked when it rained. My father was a bicycle repairman, and my mother stitched clothes for neighbors. We spoke our local dialect at home, never English. We didn't have a TV, and the only books in our house were my school textbooks, which I barely understood. In school, I was the quiet kid. Not because I didn't have anything to say, but because I couldn't say in English. My teachers taught in English, but I didn't understand a word. I failed my English exams in grade 5, then again in grade 8. I still remember the day my teacher asked me to read a paragraph in class. I stood up, my hands shaking, and mumbled something no one could understand. The class laughed. My teacher sighed and said, "Sit down, Ethan." That moment crushed me. I felt like I didn't belong, like English was a wall I could never climb. At 17, I applied for a job at a local call center. It was a big deal in our town. Everyone said it was a way out of poverty. I practiced for days, memorizing phrases like, "How can I help you?" But in the interview, when the manager asked, "Tell me about yourself," I froze. My mouth opened, but nothing came out. I mumbled, "Ethan, good worker," and that was it. The manager smiled politely and said, "Your English needs work. Come back when you're ready." I walked out, my face burning with shame. That night, I sat on the steps outside our house, staring at the dark street. My parents were asleep, but I couldn't rest. I kept thinking, is this it? Will I always be stuck because I can't speak English? That's when it hit me. English wasn't just a language. It was a key to jobs, to opportunities, to a life beyond this town. I didn't know how I'd learn it, but I knew I had to. That night, I made a promise to myself. I will learn English no matter what it takes. I didn't have money for classes or tutors. I didn't even have a smartphone. But I had one thing: determination. I started with a torn English dictionary I borrowed from my cousin. It was old with pages missing, but it was my treasure. Every night, after helping my father in his shop, I'd sit under a dim bulb and read words I didn't understand. Opportunity, courage, success. I wrote them down in a notebook and practiced saying them aloud, alone in my room. My first sentence was, "Hi, my name is Ethan. I am from India." It took me 2 weeks to say it without stuttering. I stood in front of a cracked mirror, repeating it over and over, feeling ridiculous but refusing to stop. I started listening to English songs on a neighbor's radio, pausing to write down words like dream or believe. I didn't understand the songs, but I loved how the words sounded. I copied them, mimicking the singers' voices, even if I got it wrong. My friends thought I was crazy. "Ethan, why are you wasting time?" they'd say. "English won't feed you." My uncle once told me, "Even people with degrees can't get jobs. What makes you think you'll succeed?" His words hurt, but they also fueled me. I didn't want to prove them wrong. I wanted to prove myself right. One day, I found an old English textbook at a secondhand bookstall. It cost me a day's earnings, but I bought it. I started reading it word by word, not understanding half of it. I wrote fake conversations in my notebook. "Hello, how are you?" "I am fine, thank you." I practiced these alone, imagining I was talking to someone important. Slowly, I started to feel less afraid of the words. Then, something unexpected happened. A tourist came to my father's shop, asking for directions in English. No one could help him, not my father, not the neighbors. But I recognized one word from my textbook, hospital. I took a deep breath and said, "Hospital that way." My voice was shaky, but the tourist smiled and said, "Thank you." That tiny moment felt like a victory. For the first time, I felt like English could be mine. At 19, I got a job as a cleaner at a local market. It paid enough to buy food, but it wasn't enough for my dreams. I heard about an internet cafe in town, 10 rupees an hour. I never used a computer before, but I saved up and went. The first time I sat in front of that glowing screen, I felt like I'd entered another world. I typed how to learn English into Google, and my life changed. There were videos, articles, forums, free lessons I'd never imagined. I watched YouTube videos of people teaching basic English phrases. I paused after every sentence, repeating words like introduce or confident. I joined an online group for English learners and sent my first message. "Hello, I am Ethan. I want to learn English." My hands were shaking, but someone replied, "Welcome, Ethan. Keep practicing." That small encouragement felt like a spark. I started going to the internet cafe every Sunday, spending 1 hour, sometimes 2 if I could afford it. I watched TED Talks with subtitles, writing down new words like inspire or achieve. I practiced pronouncing comfortable, not comfortable like I used to say. I recorded myself on my cousin's old phone, saying simple sentences and listened to how I sounded. I wasn't good, but I was getting better. One day, I saw a post in an English learning group. Send a voice note introducing yourself, and I'll give feedback. It was from a teacher in Australia. I was terrified, but I recorded, "Hi, my name is Ethan. I'm learning English. Please help me." My voice was shaky, and I mispronounced learning. But she replied, "Ethan, your effort is amazing. Try slowing down when you speak." She sent me free worksheets and pronunciation tips. That was my first English mentor, and we never met in person. After months of practicing, I found a website for freelancers. People were offering services like writing, translating, and transcribing in English. I created a profile. I can transcribe videos and write simple English. I didn't expect anyone to hire me, but I applied to every job I could. For 3 weeks, I got no replies. Every Sunday, I'd check my messages at the internet cafe, see nothing, and feel my heart sink. But I kept applying. Then, one day, a client from the UK asked me to transcribe a 5-minute video for $5. I spent 4 hours on it, pausing and replaying every sentence. I sent it back, nervous but hopeful. They paid me $5. It felt like a fortune. I went to the cafe's bathroom and cried. Not because of the money, but because my English had created something real. That first job led to more. I transcribed videos, wrote short product descriptions, and even helped with basic emails. I wasn't perfect, but I was honest and worked hard. Clients liked that. Soon, I was earning $20 a week, then $50. I still worked at the market, but now I had a secret. English was opening doors. One client asked me to write subtitles for a YouTube video. They paid $15. Another asked for help with social media posts, $1.10 each. I saved every rupee, bought a secondhand phone, and started working from home. My parents didn't understand what I was doing, but they saw me smiling more. My mother said, "Ethan, you look different, like you believe in something." It wasn't all smooth. There were days I doubted everything. One client stopped replying after I sent work. Another gave me a bad review because I mixed up there and there. The internet cafe lost power for a week, and I missed a deadline. My father got sick, and we needed money for medicine. I felt like giving up. I remember sitting in my room, staring at my notebook, thinking, what's the point? I'm still poor. Nothing's changing. But then I opened my notebook and saw a sentence I'd written months ago. Don't stop. You're closer than you think. I decided to keep going. I went back to the cafe, apologized to the client, and offered to redo the work for free. They gave me another chance. That taught me something. English wasn't just about words. It was about persistence and respect. My biggest test came when a client from Singapore asked for a Zoom call. I'd never spoken English for a full conversation. I almost said no, but I thought this is what you've been practicing for. I wore my best shirt, sat at the cafe, and joined the call. "Hello, this is Ethan," I said, my voice trembling. I made mistakes, but I kept talking. At the end, the client said, "Your English is clear enough. Let's work together." They paid me $100 for a project. That was more than my monthly market salary. That Zoom call changed everything. I realized English wasn't about perfection. It was about connection. I started offering more services, writing emails, creating social media content, even recording voiceovers. I studied business English, watched videos of CEOs, and learned phrases like, "Let's discuss this further," or "I appreciate your feedback." I wanted to sound professional, not just fluent. I quit my market job. It was scary, but I told my boss, "Thank you, but I'm building something new." He smiled and said, "Go make us proud, Ethan." I cried that day, not out of sadness, but because I was choosing my own path. I saved up and bought a used laptop. I turned a corner of our house into a workspace, a plastic chair, a small table, and my notebook. I worked late nights, sometimes until 2 a.m., applying for jobs, learning new skills, and improving my English. I earned $500 in 1 month, then $1,000. My family started to believe in me. My father, still weak from his illness, said, "Ethan, I don't know what you're doing, but I see you're happy." 2 years after my first $5 job, I hit a milestone, $3,000 in 1 month. I was writing website content, creating marketing emails, and even helping startups with pitch decks. I wasn't rich, but I was free. I moved my family to a better house. No more leaks. I bought my father a new toolbox for his shop. My mother stopped sewing for neighbors because we didn't need the extra money. I started my own small business, a content agency for startups. I hired 2 freelancers, one from Nigeria for editing, another from Pakistan for research. We worked on projects for clients in the US, Australia, and Dubai. I trained my team using the same English techniques I'd learned. Small steps, daily practice, and confidence over perfection. Now, let's get to the part you've been waiting for. How did I learn English? I didn't have money, tutors, or fancy apps. I had a notebook, a secondhand phone, and a reason to keep going. Here's my step-by-step guide for you to learn English and change your life, just like I did. 1. Live in English, don't study it. Stop treating English like a school subject. Make it part of your life. Change your phone to English. Write your to-do list in English. Talk to yourself in English. I'm making tea. I'm tired today. Small sentences every day. This trains your brain to think in English, not translate. 2. Train your mouth, not just your mind. Knowing English in your head isn't enough. You need to speak it. Read 1 paragraph aloud daily, slowly, clearly. Shadow native speakers on YouTube. Pause after each sentence and copy their tone. Record yourself saying, "Today, I learned something new." In 3 months, your tongue will feel comfortable with English. 3. Learn 5 words a day. Master them. Don't chase big vocabulary lists. Pick 5 words each morning. Effort, improve, challenge, success, connect. Write sentences. I will improve my English. Say each sentence 10 times aloud. Use 2 words in a real conversation or message. Make those words yours. 4. Think in English 1 sentence at a time. Stop translating in your head. Force yourself to think in English. I'm hungry. I need to sleep. At first, it feels strange, but it becomes natural. Even when you're upset, say, I'm angry, but I'll keep going. This builds fluency faster than any book. 5. Use free tools like a pro. You don't need money. Use Google Translate to learn words and hear pronunciations. Watch YouTube videos like English for Beginners or How to Introduce Yourself. Pause, repeat, copy. Use your phone's Notes app to save phrases. Nice to meet you. Ask ChatGPT, correct this sentence, or give me speaking tips. It's all free. 6. Make English a daily habit. Fluency isn't a big goal, it's a daily choice. Spend 10 minutes a day, 5 words, 1 paragraph aloud, 1 voice note. Some days, do more. Some days, do less. But never skip. Small steps build big results. 7. Speak to strangers, even if you're scared. Join online English groups. Say, "Hi, I'm learning English." Your hands will shake, but do it. No one will judge you. They'll respect your effort. Join Zoom calls, send voice messages. Every conversation builds confidence. 8. Write every day. Start a journal in English. Write 5 sentences. Today I worked hard. I learned a new word. It's not about grammar. It's about expressing yourself. Writing makes your thoughts clear and your English stronger. If you're watching this, feeling like your English holds you back, listen to me. I was you. I was the kid who failed English, who froze in interviews, who cried because I felt stuck. But I'm standing here now, running a business, working with clients worldwide, living a life I never imagined, all because of English. You don't need a perfect accent. You don't need money. You don't need anyone's permission. You need hunger. One sentence at a time, one brave moment at a time, you can build a new future. Start today. Say, "Hi, my name is Uname. I'm learning English." Say it to yourself, to a friend, to the world. Keep going, even when it's hard, even when no one believes in you. I'm Ethan from StoryPath English, and I'm proof that English can change your life. If I can do it, you can too. Don't stop now. The world is waiting to hear your voice. Subscribe, share your story in the comments, and let's keep learning together. See you in the next video.